Can we clap for Orly again? So everybody asked me to sing a traditional Italian opera. We're gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I really wanted to thank Debbie, Tim, my mom, my dad. I am Jacob. I am Hannah's middle brother. I've been kind of the thorn in her side for about 29 years now, almost 30. And my speech is decent. I have like 3 bullet points here. None of them are great. I have no tapestries, no mosaics, no salads that are woven into this speech, even though I know everyone has an affinity for them. The first thing that I wanted to say was how I'm glad Hannah found someone with as good of hair as she has. And then everyone said, the speech is supposed to be about Hannah, not Dave. So I have to skip a lot of things. So they asked me to talk about what I was most passionate about, which is easy because once again, Dave's right here. No, so one more Dave story. One of my favorite stories, which I've been telling to anybody who will listen and several people who wouldn't, this trip was, we were at the wonderful Bentonville, Arkansas. Thank you, Orly. And Dave was talking to Orly, and Orly asked him, so was it intimidating meeting Hannah's brothers? You know, she's got large brothers, and they care a lot about her and everything else, and like, was it intimidating when you met them? And then Dave said, well, I was intimidated to meet them, and then as soon as I met them, they just started hitting on me aggressively. It was like, so it's really, really difficult to like, actually, it's like, I wanted to feel like, oh man, I really want to impress these guys, but now I'm like trying to like, maybe dumb it down a little bit. No, I'll stop, but anyway. So that's all the Dave stories I'm allowed to say. The only thing that I really wanted to say is obviously thank everybody for coming. This is so incredible to see so many people travel so far to celebrate these two incredible people. And Hannah's been my best friend for a very, very long time. I played with dolls with her. If anyone was recording this, we'll edit that part out. But it was very difficult growing up to ever think that somebody would own up to or be as good as I thought my sister deserved. And that was very difficult for me. I never thought it was going to happen. And then we met Dave. And I am so, so excited to call you brother, and I'm so excited to call you my sister's husband, and I'm so excited for both of you guys. I love both of y'all, especially Hannah. Thank you all so much. Cheers to Hannah and Dave. And next is Caleb Andrew Byers. Cheers, everybody.
Hey guys. Alright, so we didn't make this easy for you guys. We went in the worst order possible. We went middle child, youngest child, and then the oldest is coming later. So you guys are going to have a good time trying to keep track of who's oldest and who's youngest later on. There will be a quiz.
I'm on.
Alright, guys, so I've known Hannah for well over a decade. Not trying to one-up Orly or anything, at least. And one of my favorite experiences with Hannah, which I think is an excellent story that really explains her very well. When I was in 7th grade, Hannah went off to college, which was about 3.5 hours from where we lived. And going up until then, we had gone to the same private school. We rode to school every day, we rode back to school every day. We spent hours every day with each other. And so her living 3.5 hours a day was a very significant change. And especially since I was 12 at the time, it was pretty drastic. While she was in college, she worked in a food court and at she spent a lot of time at a cash register. And all of my life, I have spent collecting coins. I've always done it ever since I was a little kid. I don't actually remember starting it, but the thing I've always done whenever I receive a quarter is I check the back and see if it is a bicentennial quarter. They're very distinct. They're the only quarter you will ever find that has 2 dates on them. It was to celebrate the 200-year anniversary of the United States in 1976. They made it for about 2 weeks. Obviously, I wasn't around back then, so it was quite hard to catch up on collecting. I was about 20 years late, but I got a good start though. And so all of my life I've been in a habit of checking every single quarter, and I have found a significant amount, dozens. But not to brag or anything, but I have at least $12 worth of quarters. Yeah. That was before I had to sell them all to get here. But the following year, on my birthday, I received a gift from my sister. It was a series of cardboard cutouts, which had roughly 236 bicentennial quarters taped to it. You were there. Which, if you guys aren't aware, which you probably aren't because why would you be, it is extremely rare to find one, which means that she likely checked and sorted through tens of thousands of quarters trying to find them all. And on the inscription was something that said, we may not talk every day, but I think about you all the time. And it's one of my favorite gifts I've ever gotten. I still have the cutouts and the quarters. And I think it really summarizes Hannah, the amount of dedication and thought that she puts into everything, especially for the people that she loves. And I think that kind of dedication and thoughtfulness is extremely important to a relationship, and will serve you guys both extremely well.
Somebody cut this guy off.
He's had too much to drink.
He's making stuff up again.
There it is.
Do you need this again?
That's all I got. To Hannah and Dave.
Good luck, Adam.
The order makes so much more sense.
They gave me the option of choosing who goes first and who goes last. I should have read the speeches first.
How about a joke?
So Hannah and I are a year apart. I'm her oldest brother. I've also known her for well over a decade. We're actually 3 decades now. A decade longer than Caleb. And we have always been very close. A lot of siblings go through phases where they absolutely hate each other's guts. They're mortal enemies. Sometimes they stay that way, sometimes they're, but Hannah and I, from day one, were always best friends. You started this. I had it together. I knew her way longer than you. There was a year where we went to a new high school. It was my senior year and her junior year, and it was a new school. And we had been at the school for probably half a year before we realized that the people in the school actually thought that we were dating.
Dating their siblings.
Well, they didn't necessarily know that we were related, and what confused them was that they didn't hang out with any of their siblings. They were different grades, they were apart, they sat at different tables, and even if you were juniors and seniors, they didn't sit together. I didn't sit with the seniors in my class, I sat with my sister wherever she was. And then usually that was, not the cool table, it was the juniors. So they couldn't wrap their heads around. Look, this is what people were saying at my table.
It was in the cool table, for sure.
But it was the table I chose to be at. So they couldn't wrap their heads around, why would this guy be sitting with this junior? They must be dating. That's the only thing they could think of. And when they learned that we were siblings, and that sometimes I would even go down to the middle school, or have the middle schoolers come up here, it blew their minds. And so I am so appreciative of this man and this woman for giving me a built-in best friend. We're gonna do it.
Come on, you're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Got it.
We're good.
Got it.
A built-in travel partner, a dance partner at any event. As you know, these people love to dance. She's much better than I am, but we were dancing since very young, and it was because of these people. They gave us the love of dance. When we were much younger, it was Hannah and me as kind of sub-parents for these two.
These two, yeah.
I know it's hard to imagine, but they were about this tall. We
called
call
the
them
little
the
boys.
little boys.
They were called
the
the
little boys. Affectionately the little boys. Sometimes not so affectionately the little boys. But there was a gap between us, and so Hannah was the mom, and I was the judge and jury most of the time. But if they had to go through her before they came to me, it was very much like younger parent. Like, go talk to your older brother. But for Hannah, she started this very young. She would just make sure they stayed in line. One of the stories that's famous in our family is when she was about 6. Maybe we'll give her 7, maybe. Our grandparents were coming over, and they were staying with us, and there was some living situation where Hannah was concerned that the little boys, maybe they had been displaced from the normal bedroom, but they were going to be disturbing our guests somehow. And so she took it upon herself while they were getting settled in to go to have a talk with the little boys. She said, okay, little boys. And we would actually call them that. It's very hard to think about that now. But she said, little boys, if you need anything, if you need to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or you need food, you just come to me. I'll handle it. Do not disturb our guests. This is 6-year-old Hannah saying this to shorter them.
I'll handle it. I love that.
So she's been that way ever since. But growing up, we're still very close, as you can tell. Our family is very close. They're all built-in best friends. But she was the first. And I know that it can be intimidating for a romantic partner to try to come into this family because we have our own inside jokes that we've been developing for a very long time. We have our own language almost. We have our own way of being. And you won't even understand what we're laughing about half the time because we all know. But we don't have to say it. And for a romantic partner, especially for Hannah to come in with such tall and strong men with amazing hair. It's intimidating. I'd be intimidated. But Dave
Has amazing hair.
But Dave, from day one, was, I won't say it's probably day one being realistic, but almost instantly, we had decided we wanted him as a brother. And so we're very proud of Hannah for pulling this off for us. Thank you very much. Well done, Hannah. You've done your part. But he was a natural. Everything that we wanted to do together, which is everything, it was better when Dave was there. And that's how I knew, and that's how we all knew, that we wanted to work with Dave. And that kind of explains why we were aggressively hitting on him. That is not an understatement. Our favorite joke is just Dave jokes about how much we love Dave.
Jokes?
No,
it's not a joke.
That was the joke. The joke was that it's a joke. I got you. Yeah, so anyway, on a serious note, to finish it off, I've learned personally, even as the older brother, so much about you two, about love and about relationships that I aspire to, and just about being a good human being, which is not something most older brothers, I think, can say about their younger siblings. But I'm very excited for us all to keep doing exactly what we've been doing for the past few years. A lot more. I'm going to start calling you brother, though.
Cheers.
So I love you both.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Oop, you good?
We're good.
You good?
Now's the cake cutting.
All right, now I'm supposed to tell everyone we're cutting cake. Cake!